A camera in hand, the world wide open. Let's get closest to the wild. Camera edition. Today we're exploring the streets of Krakow, Poland. I've got my Nikon F3 with black and white 35mm film, and we're chasing light through the old town, a castle, and anywhere the shadows fall just right. No digital, no previews, just 36 exposures and instinct. Come walk the city with me, and let's capture some black and white magic. Hello everybody. I'm here in Poland, and today we're going to be shooting some black and white film on my Nikon F3, and I'm having a little coffee right before I go out. I'm going to be shooting some Ilford XB2 Super XB2 400. This is one of my favorite black and white films, and we're just going to go ahead and load up the camera so we can get our day started. Got this camera in Japan last year, and it's such a satisfying camera to use. I really love using it. It's probably one of my favorite film cameras of all times. I've used quite a few, but this one, for some reason, it's just satisfying to use. I went hunting in Japan at the camera stores, and I found this one in really good condition. Perfect, there we go. I'll try to see if I can do a whole roll in the next day or so. This is a 36 frame roll, and I am using a 35mm prime f2. It's an AIS lens that I also got in Japan with the camera. Let's test it out and see what kind of photos we get today. First, let's get some breakfast. After breakfast, we made our way into the old town and took some pictures of the town square along with St. Mary's Basilica in the back. Krakow's Old Town is one of the best preserved medieval centers in Europe. While much of Europe rebuilt after World War II, these streets survived, meaning every step here is literally a walk through 700 years of history. Fun fact, Krakow is known for having the biggest market square in Europe. When shooting with the Nikon F3, you can't help but to enjoy the sleek design by Giorgetto Giugiaro, the same designer behind the legendary sports cars from brands like Ferrari and Maserati. The red stripe you see on the front became one of Nikon's signature design elements, and it's still used on their cameras today. After walking some of the old town and surrounding streets, we decided to head over to Wawel Castle. Legend says a dragon once lived beneath Wawel Hill. The mythical Wawel dragon Smok Wawelski was said to terrorize Krakow until a clever shoemaker tricked it into eating a sheep stuffed with sulfur. The dragon became so thirsty it drank from the Vistula River until it exploded. Today, there's actually a dragon statue near the castle that breathes real fire every few minutes. Unfortunately, it just so happened to be off on the day I traveled 6,000 miles. Fun fact, the Nikon F3 was so reliable that NASA actually used modified versions of it in space. The same camera I'm using to photograph Krakow once photographed Earth from orbit. Because Wawel was the political and spiritual center of Poland for centuries, an entire small community grew around it. Blacksmiths, scribes, guards, and church officials all lived within walking distance of the royal court. While in the courtyard, I noticed some nice gold light and told my wife to pose for me. She was definitely seeing spots after holding that pose. There you go.
I cannot see anything. I just see spots.
If you're visiting Wawel Castle, try coming in early in the morning or near sunset. The crowds are smaller and the light hitting the stone walls make the whole place even feel more cinematic. When shooting black and white film, strong light and shadow matter much more than color. Instead of focusing on colorful scenes, look for textures, silhouettes, reflections, and hard light hitting buildings or streets. The Nikon F3 meter is excellent, so try metering for highlights when shooting in bright conditions. That helps preserve detail in bright areas and gives your photos those rich, dramatic blacks that make black and white films stand out. We eventually made our way back to the old town and I came across the town hall tower. It was starting to get dark, so we decided to get some dinner and call it a night. Tomorrow we'll venture off bright and early. The next morning we woke up early, got some breakfast in the old town, and decided to go to the Jewish district and take some photos. Kazimierz isn't just a neighborhood, it's a memory etched into stone. For centuries, it was the heart of the Jewish life in Krakow. Even now, in black and white, the streets feel like they're holding on to voices, stories that refuse to fade. For centuries, Kazimierz was one of the most important Jewish cultural centers in Europe. Scholars, artists, and families built a thriving community here, and many of those historic synagogues and streets still stand today. As I walked down this narrow street, I came across this man playing some beautiful music on his violin, so of course, I had to take a picture of it. We soon wandered off and came across the Father Bernatek footbridge. It is famous for the acrobatic sculptures suspended along the cables, balancing over the Vistula River. The Vistula River is the longest river in Poland, stretching more than 1,000 kilometers to the Baltic Sea. For centuries, it was a lifeline for trade, connecting cities like Krakow to the rest of Europe. In just a few blocks from the bridge, we came across this amazing looking church that almost looks like a fairy tale castle from far away. St. Joseph Church might look medieval, but it was actually built in the early 1900s. Back then, Podgorze was its own city, and this towering church was a symbol of its independence and pride. 36 exposures in Krakow, and these are a few of the frames that stayed with me. And after a long 2 days, we decided to head back to the main plaza in the old town to do a little shopping, get some dinner, and enjoy the scenery. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and check out these videos you might enjoy as well.